Welcome back to the beautiful shores of Milwaukee. This is Mythinformed, a Mythicist Milwaukee podcast.
Hey everyone, we'd like to take a quick moment to thank our fantastic patrons for their generous contributions. We would not be able to do what we do without you, so thank you so much.
Seriously, we do appreciate your financial support, and we want to hear your opinions and feedback. So please let us know what you think and join us on our monthly patron hangout.
Welcome everyone to Mythinformed with your hosts Brian and Dimitri. Today's a pretty special day for us. Happens to be the first time we're doing a live video recording of our beautiful faces to go along with all that color commentary you're used to. And Brian, how many times do I have to keep telling you, you do not have a face made for radio?
I think others are the judge of that.
I guess, maybe.
I don't get to be.
We'll get comments. I don't know.
They did a good job after the third-degree burns, though. I'll give you that.
So day one, our set is pretty modest, but we'll gradually step our game up. We'll add to the decor. Personally, I vote for a booze shelf. But in the meantime, cheers, Brian, to day one. All right.
Day one.
So without further ado, we are pumped by our guest today. None other than Fat Pat and Sophane, better known as Poisoning the Well. Bow.
Hello.
Oh, that's what sex feels like in your ear.
No, he unmuted, muted.
It's still in my soul.
It is.
Van
Halen.
So these fine gentlemen are rising stars on the YouTubes with over 12,000 subscribers and growing. Don't sell yourself short. They share our penchant for fine cocktails.
Indeed.
Or Red Dog. We're not above that.
What the hell is Red Dog?
And they are fellow skeptics and entertainers. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hey, thanks. Thanks for having us on, man. Especially, this is what a special day. We get to be here on the first live broadcast.
We are not the people to have live.
Nope. We need a little work in post. I don't know if you knew that about us, but
I know. I was going to say be gentle. It's my first time, but then I listened to your live stream about the bases and I'm going to fifth base for sure just by calling you off.
yeah, we'll pretty much talk about anything.
No, it's
I don't know why YouTube keeps demonetizing us.
I know exactly why.
30 minutes before the stream.
I think we all know why. They're making it not even a PG-13, a PG broadcast channel. So
yeah,
they are. Thanks, Disney. This is becoming a very Disney thing. This YouTube thing.
Well, as long as you don't say tits on air. Oh, we're demonetized.
Oh, there it goes. All that sweet profit out the window.
So it's I came across you guys at after the VidCon hullabub, and then I realized, wow, you guys were there.
It's hullabaloo.
And hullabaloo.
Hullabaloo. Yeah,
it was hullabaloo. I will say
Yiddish?
that. Not hubbub. It was definitely hullabaloo.
All right, cockamamie.
Like it was hubbub.
A little bit of shenanigans.
What's the Russian version for this, Dimitri?
There is none.
Okay,
it doesn't exist.
There's no.
You get hauled off and killed.
Angry stare.
Russians just get drunk. They don't.
It's just angry stare into the camera.
That feels right. It feels right.
And
this is episode 1. At some point, I'll wear a furry hat. It'll happen. Don't worry.
You could be a furry. Why don't I just wear the hat?
You're very into furries.
Do the whole thing. Get into it.
You guys missed it. There's a controversy in the furry community, and Brian is all about it.
Well, we were looking.
Controversy. Someone started taking their mask off?
But I want to say there's always controversy in the furry community. I don't know how I know that, and I don't want to fucking comment on it.
But you should, because you already
Really
You already said it.
But no, the problem was that I was mentioning like how everything is so tribal and so vain. I know you bitch about this on Twitter. You're like, today I don't want to talk about fucking politics. But it wasn't just like, our conference got politicized. Everything. Sports are getting politicized. And when I took too many right turns on YouTube or Google one time, the furry community is now divided by politics.
You have alt-right turns.
Yeah. Yes, I know. I shouldn't have linked from the Daily Stormer. Fuck. But they have Nazi furs and anti-furs.
They have anti-furs.
Get it? And they're like ruining the movement. Each side is ruining movement because the community is small and it can't tolerate a division like this, right? I mean, come on, let's just get back to getting our
once you find
thing
someone
on
else will bang you wearing a Winnie the Pooh costume, you stick with that person regardless of what other backgrounds or beliefs that they have. You're like,
that's why you're married, right? That's why you married who you married.
No, that's actually literally why
I know it is.
My first conversation with my now wife, it was a MySpace conversation back and forth about furries, and I sent her a picture of me in my Winnie the Pooh suit, and then.
But now they're married.
I mean, you're dating yourself by saying
game.
MySpace, so now we know.
Hey, easy. That's when I was famous. Those are the golden years for SoFane. That was when the brand was crushing it.
SoFane.
It's coming back. MySpace is way back.
Here's the big question: is what song did you have playing when I would go on your profile?
I think the most famous one is "The World Is Mine."
Brian
The
Adams.
world is mine.
The world is mine.
Yeah, the remix, Depeche Mode. So there you go.
No, that's good.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah, Sean, you got to link that somewhere in your whatever you do in your magic.
I know.
Yeah.
I was really stupid to use Right Said Fred. Like that was just
That's not going to get you laid, bro.
I know. I fucked up.
Avenged Sevenfold.
It took me 5 years to get over that.
Hey, it's better than Jimmy Eats World in the middle. Or whatever that song is called.
I don't know. It's toss up, guys. It's toss up. But I love the MySpace days, man. Back in the early days of social media, when
It was a personal website
when
for yourself.
Tom was your friend.
yeah.
Tom
was everybody's first friend.
No one in the millennial. Well, we're technically some of us are millennials, but no one in that generation is going to understand this. So.
Well, that's
okay. They don't understand any of our jokes anyway.
That's the problem with Facebook is you don't get to categorize which friend means more to you with like a top 8.
Yeah, like if they had a top 8, so you could really let people know.
Because all your friends get immediately pissed off at Yoko, whoever you're dating at the time, because also she instantly gets
she's
top.
the only one with any street cred. And like what was funny is like in my top 8, the girl I was dating was never number 1.
Oh,
never.
Of course.
You know who my number 1 always was?
Your mom.
Sasquatch. I put the Jack Link Sasquatch was my number 1 because I was like, that way no one can argue. You don't get to be my number 1 Sasquatch.
Yeah, it's true.
And it's not even no one can be jealous of the Sasquatch because it's not real.
Well, you got to play the a-hole card. You got to be a little on the edge, and that's how.
Well, I actually think that's
I thought we just
a
did like
non-a-hole
Jesus. I didn't know we were going after Sasquatch in this thing.
Jesus. Yeah, did anyone have Jesus as their top?
Oh yes.
Like,
Oh yeah,
I'm sure they
were
did.
like actually thought it was Jesus, not just some jackass calling himself Jesus.
We had
like
was
well,
it Jesus or Jesus H?
It's Jesus del Taco, and secondly, we had a Bible somewhere on set when we started, and now it's gone.
Yeah.
So
I had a Bible. My car got stolen, and the one thing that was in the glove box, like all of my important shit, was gone, and it was left a Bible still in cellophane wrapper.
Wait. Are you saying you didn't have a Bible?
No, I did not. They left it there.
So when they
Wait,
stole,
they robbed you, but left the Bible.
Yeah.
Like the Gideons robbed you. I don't understand.
It was odd. It was unpacked. So I thought, well, shit. They missed the thing about not stealing, but at least they didn't get to the part about like stoning your wayward sons. So it's like half and half.
That's good.
Maybe their dad stoned them when they got home with all this loot.
By the way, guys, we're known for giving people ideas for future episodes. So there's one right there. You film a robbery with someone leaving a Bible. Boom, done. Written.
How did they make fun of me at work when that
You can actually
happened?
tie that in.
Poisoning the well robs people and leaves Gideon Bibles all over the place.
Yeah, for the Lord.
Obviously.
In a pamphlet for.
Oh yeah, and like a
SCVs.
chick track.
A chick track. I was gonna go something for like the free clinic or something.
I was thinking
No.
like
I jerked off your back seat. You might want to.
No, if you've got an STD, you're already going to hell. There's no praying. There's no praying that away.
Oh,
But see, where I was raised Catholic, so you're allowed to forgive that shit away.
How many
you can just come out.
Wait.
That feeling that when you would come out of confession with that clean
How many
slate.
Hail Marys? How many?
But it would last a day because that's about how long it took to masturbate, right? And then you didn't have that clean feeling.
That's a dry rub,
day,
man.
you're
I
doing
don't,
it wrong.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I was.
Well, I don't know. I've spent days doing less important shit. I'll tell you that.
So we have to ask you about your origin story. I mean, you guys have a popular YouTube channel. It's getting more popular by the goddamn minute. So how did this whole YouTube extravaganza begin?
Well, okay. It started off as we kind of already had a studio that we had, because we were doing photography primarily, and we were just watching a lot of YouTube. And Fane had really kind of gone into this like wormhole of like Logic or Armored Skeptic.
I'm a longtime atheist, and so
right.
that really caught on with me.
Like, I'm an even
tell us
longer
more.
term atheist.
You probably are longer because I was a Catholic, and
Yeah, so
which made me an atheist. Like they crank out atheists like crazy in the Catholic Church.
I basically he just kept talking about we talked about doing videos for a long time, and then he had started watching a lot of the Logic stuff and the Creationist Cat stuff, and he goes, "Man, I think we could do something with this." And I said, "Yeah, sure. We got the camera equipment, we've got a studio. We just didn't have all the continuous lighting yet." And I was like, "Yeah, we could try to do something." And don't touch your shit.
I'm touching my light.
So I said, all right, let's go ahead and do something. And I found this video of this woman. It was right after gay marriage was legalized everywhere.
It was like July 2015.
I was going to say, this
Yeah.
is like last year.
No, it's 2 years ago.
And it was 2 years
Or
ago.
Time
yeah, 2
flies.
years ago. 2.5 years ago.
But I found this crazy lady ranting about how, the hell is opening up because now the gays can marry. And I just remember thinking,
Yeah, she started crying
She's
because
crying.
we were hurting Jesus, and
yeah.
it was crazy.
So I grabbed this video real quick. I said, why don't we just do a response to this? And at first he wanted to do like a direct response, a direct debunk or attack. And I said, no, that's not funny enough. I think it'd be funnier to try to get on the other side of her, get crazier, religious-ier than her. I don't know if that,
Right.
none of those
Yeah,
words.
it's argumentum ad absurdum.
Yeah, just blow her her argument out of the water by being just out over the top.
Taking it to its most extreme point.
Yeah.
So that kind of became our thing, which is we would find people, particularly people who had a religious topic to their video, and then just trying to make it look, show how ridiculous it is by taking it one notch further, like to where they're pointing, where they're headed.
Right.
Just go ahead and jump in front there to the destination, and then just act that out like they aren't
Because
being Christian
it also
enough.
it also made it easier because there were so many other channels that would try to debunk I'm like, no,
Yeah,
let's
and that
just-
ain't us.
I was like, no, that's a lot of homework. I'd rather just be ridiculous and just point out how absurd this person, because the logical person will immediately just see that as she's out of her mind.
Yeah.
But it was easier just to just be crazy and show
and
how crazy
we were,
she is.
We were roommates, and that day we were drunk as fuck. It was like a Sunday.
I was going to
It's-
say, how you guys knew each other ahead of time. So
I've been friends with him. Well, we've known each other for 11 years. I've been friends with him for about 4.5 weeks.
it's a recent thing.
Yeah,
we're
just-
trying it out.
Moving out was really what made me like you better.
Oh,
For us. It's working for us.
But
you guys were roommates until you got married recently. And I should say congrats, Pat Pat.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, I guess.
Yeah, we have to.
It's going to end violently.
Where's your bling, man? Where's your bling?
I have to hide it within my other bling. This is the official bling.
Oh yeah, that one.
Technically, she did buy me this one though. This is the
All
Elvis taking care of business ring. That is very important to me.
Does it
It was
say?
Elvis' birthday the other day. Didn't
It's
care.
not on the
I
shocker
don't
finger.
care.
You know, I found out that was the #1 telecast in TV history of all time was Elvis on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Yeah, that was a big deal, man.
ever.
As far as percentage of television watchers.
Yes.
Okay.
Number one.
More
in
than the
history.
moon landing?
Yes. It was the number one thing
was
that
bigger.
everyone watched.
Music trumps science again.
It's true.
Can we play that Van
Sure, get with
Halen?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
and
you
then
heard Van
with
Halen.
Dr. Oz pouting. You know.
All right, sorry. So you guys were stoned in your dorm room? No.
we were just drunk and we were like, let's go ahead and just go downstairs.
Yeah, because we had a podcast at the time.
Yeah,
we had
we
a
were
podcast
called Devil's Business, and we were just telling stories about late night shenanigans, drug overdoses that we've had with our friends or prostitutes. We had strippers on the show. It was just like we would just do any late night stuff, crazy shit that happened while the other people are sound asleep. So we were just kind of do these podcasts, and then the podcast evolved into Poisoning the Well and became a YouTube channel.
Yeah, there was a third one of us, but that day that we decided to do our first video, and we told him that it was going to be to kind of have an atheist twist, he backed out. He was like, "Nah, man."
What? Because
man, if you're gonna make fun of my Jesus, I'm out.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Suddenly finding out that he had religion. I didn't know he had religion.
No idea he had any sort of religion.
But he's weirdly religious.
Weirdly religious, it turns out.
Like not
He's never watched one of our videos to this day.
Jesus.
He won't watch it.
One of our best friends.
One of our best friends, yeah.
Oh.
Can't get that subscribed.
You would never know it. But sometimes those things can hide in the background. Like that, the person that doesn't seem majorly religious is, and vice versa.
What if you Rickroll him with a Hitch video? Like, just
I don't know if he could flag that fast enough. And I was like, dude, check out this video of this kid getting hit in the nuts.
He got the tattoos on his arm like, he is my fortress, he is my savior, or whatever like that.
Are you serious?
I thought he was just doing it just edgy with a...
I thought he was talking about himself. It was like, he is my strength. He is my fortress.
Or something like that.
And I was like...
I thought he was just trying to get a cool tattoo, like...
When he was talking about himself, I swear...
He's totally religious. And that he loves Jesus. But he loves Jesus weirdly because he's paid for 2 abortions and he does a lot of drugs. I don't understand where Jesus...
Yeah, abortion doxed.
Obviously.
Sorry, I didn't say his name.
We didn't say his name. But if you go listen to our podcast, you'll know exactly who he is.
You can boil
links
it down.
in the description.
Which state are you guys in? Are you guys
Georgia.
Like Tennessee?
We're in Georgia, A-Town.
Kennesaw, right?
Oh, A-Town.
Zone 6.
Kennesaw. Right. Wow, you have done your research.
K-Town.
Go Owls.
Go Owls, right. I didn't know what that meant. Is that the local high school team?
It's the college team.
Okay.
Just recently got a football team.
Okay.
Even though it's like the second biggest, it's actually, I think, got more students than Georgia who just really whiffed in that national championship.
Yes.
I know it hurt you, man. And we haven't
Yeah,
had to talk about it.
that was tough.
I'm sorry. I felt it too. I felt the hurt too.
Right.
Look, we live in
Speaking of
Georgia.
which,
We're
all glory was given to God after that national championship was won.
Yep, just like after the Super Bowl when the Falcons gave that same glory to God.
Yep.
Stop trying to back yourself out of being fans of any of the teams.
I just want to disown this fucking place.
I feel like we need to take a moment to say "Roll Tide." I'm
Eat a dick. I'm so sick of hearing that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, so much.
I know. Look,
I've never even been to Alabama.
Minnesota at least had a sitcom about their university.
Well, that was Minnesota State, actually.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, if you want to, the trivia, but I missed that one time in trivia and lost us the game.
What?
Don't forget that bullshit.
Coach?
I know. Yes, it was Minnesota State. They're like, no, Minnesota is not going to do. So Barack Obama's Big Black Caucus did not win. And that was our trivia team name.
For the record, that is his trivia team
And it
name.
was a great name, but
single time.
It was so much better when they said they were in
Actually,
first
we
place.
had one called Hillary Loves the Caucus, so I feel like we're kindred spirits.
I'm going back to the not getting around. Didn't say state afterwards.
Hillary loves
Jeopardy,
half the caucus. The other half are
guy
deplorable.
says the answer is Gangsta's Paradise is the answer
Yes.
on Jeopardy. But he says Gangster's Paradise. And Alex Trebek had to tell him he's wrong. It's Gangster. So Alex Trebek corrected him on his Ebonics. Correct me up. I had a handle of this.
That did not happen.
That's
it just
funny.
happened this week, dude.
Our judges just came back, and your answer was actually wrong. It was Gangstas.
Gangsta's Paradise. Like Alex Trebek being like a snotty
That's
little ass
awesome.
to you, like it's Gangsta.
I feel like he's throwing shade, bro.
right? Like you threw the ER and that sounds racist.
That's brilliant.
He is the most Canadian person ever to exist in the history of humanity. So we can do with it. I know.
So
Yeah. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
So I was going to say, so it evolves, right? And you've covered a lot of YouTube fare, which is kind of neat because there is such thing as a YouTube celebrity now. You know, this would.
There absolutely is. We
You know,
love
10 years
them.
ago, we wouldn't have known this. And a lot of your humor, like, focuses on this. So if you're wholly a normie and you don't watch YouTube at all, they're probably going to miss a good deal. So, you know, screw them. But
yes, we do. It seems like we get the deeper we go into the YouTube rabbit hole, the more we tend to pick on the YouTube celebrities, because there is this culture where there's this huge group, of YouTubers who just have these huge followings, like gigantic followings that like parents don't know about. These are celebrities that can do anything.
Have more control over your kids than any of the crap you put on TV.
Anything you put on TV. That's right.
Well, that's
YouTubers control your kids more.
That's the crazy thing. I mean, think of the like Shuan has over 700,000 followers.
She's over 800 now.
Yeah, and she records with her flip phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
it's frustrating.
It's insane.
She's a doll, though.
She's adorable.
she's awesome.
We love her. We love her. We love her. She was so kind to us.
Of course. Oh no, I mean she came to MythCon. She was fantastic.
Yeah, her and Skep came up with.
They opened the show, right?
Yeah. We loved hanging them.
Yeah,
here.
they were great. And we wanted them right away because even though they nailed as like alt-right, conservative, like
which is so weird.
Such
people.
a joke now because they're going to get some real perspective
Greg is
in the upcoming month.
Right.
Greg is left-leaning, but gets called alt-right. It's like, wow, what a flip-flop.
I know, it's the curvature of the earth. If you're so far to the left that you can't see over the horizon, you're missing the actual right over here.
But we know who's calling them that. Speaking of which, when you're Sophane, when you did that video when you're walking down the street in fucking Bangladesh or wherever the hell you are,
that was in Jaipur, India.
I really wanted to know where you were because there were a lot of Indians like they're turning
like
their
I'm
head
crazy.
like, who is this a-hole that's walking down my street?
How did they know? It could have been a god.
Like, yeah,
Look,
We could have been Buford Highway,
Actually,
dude.
we have some footage from India that was recorded where I get swamped because I wasn't in the touristy places, man. I was deep in the shit.
I get it, but I'm surprised someone didn't just deck you and steal your sunglasses. I mean, I was waiting for
They
that.
have
guy wearing those
spikes.
spiky
It would
glasses.
hurt.
They're
Right.
unstealable.
Yeah, punch me. Punch me. These aren't plastic. These are the real fucking thing.
They're very hurting.
Right.
that's-
Do you pick up a porcupine? No. There's a reason you don't just pick them up.
At VidCon, I saw Andy Worski, and I went to give him a hug, and one of my spikes pierced his ear.
Shut up. Are you serious?
That is a true story.
Drawn blood.
Wow.
Because I always thought they were
Well, he hasn't
plastic.
bitched about it, so I'm going to give him credit for that.
Oh, he will.
He took it like a man.
I mean, I think he tweeted once.
That's
Just a little bit of.
That's
little
one of
bit
my
it.
fun fact questions for you is, were you born with sunglasses on, or is this just like, has anyone ever seen you with them off?
Since I've known him, like when I first laid eyes on this man on his
What was that,
MySpace,
2006.
2006,
His MySpace.
and I couldn't. And I suddenly noticed that you were in a lot of pictures with a bunch of these girls and stuff. I'm like,
Somebody cue the Celine Dion.
I was like, this guy is wearing a lot of sunglasses. I was like, you know what? What does his eyes look like? I kept going through photos. I'm like, this guy
You will
never gets photographed.
Find one. Hundreds of photos.
I was like, never found his eyes.
I'm in Maxim magazine.
So when
wearing my sunglasses.
Yeah, when I went into the clubs and I'm sitting there, I'm like, I was like, where's this Sophane guy? And they're like, oh, that's him right there. I went, where? Because he had a sunglass up on top of his head. I didn't.
Oh yeah, like when there's not a camera pointed at me, I'll pop them up, and so I can have a good time.
What is one eye green and the other one's blue? Like, what's
Nope, they're both the color of shit.
And there's a lot of baggage under that shit.
Yeah, and a lot of fucking coke fucking baggage, like a lot of cocaine bruises right underneath them.
all right, good.
I'll tell you about that.
We now have the backstory to that. Any other fun facts y'all want to share with us?
No, you know what? I do want to, since you brought it up, I want to talk a little bit about the conference because you did bring up that video in Jaipur that I filmed in Jaipur.
Right.
And that was because I was super triggered. And recently there's been more news, and I don't know if you've heard about this, Pat, so I'm going to tell you. This is usually what we do. in our videos is I know about a
He
thing,
brings up the
and then I have to
points.
tell him the thing.
Tell me what's going on.
And then
so
you can always
I don't
take
give a
credit
shit.
for it.
Dude,
though.
I thought that was staged every time you guys do this. So
Normally, it's a
He'll
reenactment.
actually go, just don't tell me.
Yeah, it's a reenactment, or it's
Like sometimes
similar.
recently though, he'll just like, just don't tell me on camera.
there's some. I don't know
and,
what you're talking about.
And then after I tell him, then we'll later record whatever fucking comedic bullshit we're doing around it. But
I have to write a bit around whatever.
But there
you're
has
doing.
been some drama, and it's centered around, and really, Mythicist Milwaukee. You guys brought to the forefront this split in the atheist community that no one really would acknowledge, and a lot of people just pretended never existed, and that was the political split.
Yeah.
That because man, look, back in the days of Obama, God blessed be his name.
and his caucus.
Everybody assumed if you didn't believe in God, you're a liberal. Period.
Right.
Go on about your business. And then the 2016 thing happened, and the atheist community suddenly got, on YouTube, got overwhelmed by some of the where some atheists like just came right out and said, hey, you know what, I'm actually conservative. And then another big swoop was from the anti-SJW community, which actually swelled the numbers huge. I just never expected to see that as a longtime atheist myself and a longtime liberal. But you guys all of a sudden brought it right into the forefront, and the campaign that Christy Winters and some other people went on about the guests you guys had invited.
Yeah, don't remind
And
us.
the thing is, I talk to Christy Winters on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Wait,
she's been a subscriber to our channel since we had a couple hundred subscribers.
Still,
we're
or was
shoved down the
this
street.
way back when?
Yeah, from way back when. And
Yeah.
so I still talk to her, even though
Okay.
I did that video in Jaipur, which was about her and
Yeah,
about
right,
her
right, right.
sassiness.
Right.
I don't appreciate Andy Worski making her a little right now, but
Because he's a little right now.
but you guys brought it to the forefront. Well, lately, and this is the part you don't know about, Pat, which is the Atheist Conference, TAC,
Yeah.
which was scheduled to go off.
Okay, that
in-
was I
TAC
just,
was scheduled to go off in New York City.
apparently Steve Shives made some. I can't see his.
Oh, they
someone
put
tweeted
Steve
it out.
Shives. They put Steve Shives kind of in charge of doing the YouTube panel.
Right.
And so he got to choose the people and he choose for the SGW community. The only one that I really actually, man, I got to tell
It
you,
was him,
ContraPoints,
Christy Winters,
love ContraPoints channel. You guys should talk to
ContraPoints,
him.
Foxy Jezebel, and
No,
T1 Janitor.
She's on a lot of our short list for a lot of stuff we're doing.
I gotta say, man, I really think ContraPoints has the answer for this hard right turn that's happened, and that's just by explaining things in a funny way with good production and
But production
relatable.
Production comes first for me. As long as they got good production, some comedy. That's
That's
all
what
I want.
brought me into ContraPoints, and then by accident, like her points started sinking in, and I was like,
Can't wait for our-
production will get me to do anything.
I can't wait for our
What's it-
show
what-
to split.
I take it you're not a Jordan Peterson fan then?
I am not a Jordan Peterson fan.
I don't know who the fuck you're talking about.
He is.
For Jordan
He doesn't
Peterson,
know it, but he probably is.
is no doubt a conservative, right? We're seeing the conservatives come out like from the Harvey Weinstein thing, right? Ben Shapiro's like, it's never going to happen to me because
What
I've
is-
only had to ever sex with one woman, right?
I
like
mean,
like it's
Is
the
that
one
true?
man.
That would explain so much
That's-
about Shapiro.
No, it does. It does. But
Clear
the real conservatives are coming out. Jordan Peterson
super
supported this to some extent, sort of Roman Millennial. Now, all these people will say they're conservatives. Well, except for Jordan a little bit because he's an academic, so he doesn't want to screw up. I mean, he's a serious scientist, but that is the divide. There's that you're going to go too far, or you're going to get the conservative reaction, and that's what I'm afraid of. If the progressives kind of like goof up the liberal line, then the conservatives are going to win, and so I think that a lot of these people are disaffected liberals. A lot of the people that are the shitlords are left leaning.
Man, you're so right. And actually, what the skeptic community has done is started, since we spent so much time punching left, every time you punch
punching
left,
ourselves further right.
punching you further
Yeah.
right, the momentum keeps carrying you right. And now
Because
it's
they've
kind of-
landed me. Actually, I was a conservative, and they've actually
Absolutely.
landed me on the left side of the fence now, which is weird for me
Yeah.
because I for so long, because I've always been a Republican, but I was like liberal, socially, but like fiscally conservative. And it became this thing where I was like, because we were actually on either side of the fence. He was a liberal, I was conservative. But as the alt-right went one way, the SJWs went the other way. They were pushing out these edges. We found ourselves right next to each other.
Yeah. Pushed into the middle.
Yeah, but you got labeled, I assume, as alt-right by the SJW community, which is what happened.
My haircut didn't help.
No, your haircut didn't help. And what I loved was we took a pic. We were in the vape shop one day. We're out filming a bit. And we stopped by the vape shop to get some sweet bubble melon juice.
I love that stuff.
It's so delicious. And they had a Kekistani flag hanging on the wall. And so I was like, holy shit, Pat, that's hilarious. Go stand by it.
So I give it a high five.
Yeah.
And
show him the Richard Spencer.
Show
him the Richard Spencer.
There it is. There it is.
It's like if I get this, I can get this.
It's nice. It's nice. Try. It's so tight on the sides, man. It's nice.
So tight.
And so this is not a good look. High five and a kek flag. Immediately, it was getting.
I loved it. Before we got out of the vape shop,
the problem is the context of at the moment. You don't get the joke. Like we're goofing around.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, high five, yeah, kek flag. But everyone sees it as like super alt-right. This is the guy that's
the progressives
running
his
car through people.
But
progressives on Twitter went crazy with it.
The ridiculity.
Tens of thousands of fucking likes and retweets.
I see that picture showing up, and it showed up in videos, and people were talking about it. I'm like, oh my god.
Well, they're using the ridiculousness of people using that as a I mean, this has been debunked so many times. How it's so inaccurate to point at the Kekistani flag or the stupid frog, whatever the hell it's called.
The Pepe frog.
Right, Pepe the frog.
And saying that it's some sort of alt-right symbol is ridiculous.
Well, this is my...
That's exactly... But that's what I said. The SJWs, what they do is they use the normies to control what happens because popular opinion rules all.
Yeah, that's true.
So they actually... All they have to do is say, that's... white supremacy, and then everyone that doesn't know what the hell's going on, they're like, "Oh, that's what that means." Oh, I didn't know. And next thing you know, their Destiny 2 has to take a cloaking armor thing off of their thing because it had a green KEK looking symbol.
Yeah, it did look like
MSNBC did a whole thing on Pepe, and
that was terrible.
But the Southern Poverty Law Center put it up.
Fed by the social justice warriors, were feeding the normies. Yeah. Their version, and because they've learned that it's easy to attack the other side because we don't get the numbers, we don't get the audience that they are going to get. So they use the normies as part of their army because they can just quickly slip the information into their ears, and then it attacks the other side. It's like
that's just part of the pendulum.
Yeah, no, it is.
But you know, the numbers are on the skeptic, not conservative side because it's mostly. I mean, even we identify as liberals. I don't know. Well, Brian somewhere.
I'm probably libertarian.
Yeah, libertarian, libertarian, whatever it is. I mean, even we identify as liberals, and still we're like, what the fuck is happening?
And that's the thing. I think a lot of liberals, because of what happened in 2016, a lot of liberals felt like disassociated with their own party because I just don't understand, the far I consider myself a progressive for years. I was an Obama progressive. I took myself seriously and I wanted to help the poor people, and I'm here to pay my taxes.
And that's the difference. And I'm Republican. I'm like, fuck the poor people. I are the poor people.
That's so weird.
I am a self-hating
never
Republican.
Got that. I know you're self-loathing.
No, we had this talk.
No,
I hate that. Good. I hate me.
but here was the point. Sophane, when I saw that video, I look back and you're like, you were upset because you considered Christy Winters your friend. And I'm like, oh wow, I didn't know
she
that he knew her. So
backstabbed you?
I back go into your videos, and then I see this really funny comedy sketch that you guys have done, and you're like, it's all about Lacey Green and Chris Reagan, and we have to date an anti-SJW has to date an SJW, then we're going to make it big on YouTube, and it's hilarious, right? And you get all these people to play along, and Christy Winters is one of them, and I think she plays her part pretty well. And Sophane's all like asking her out, she's like, no, and Sophane's like, so that's it, yeah? And she's like, no means no, and Sophane just keeps going. It's really funny, and she kind of plays into it, and I thought,
She did
thumbs
really
up, Christy. That you're funny there. That's the
from,
first
like,
time I
June-
ever thought.
That's what we
June of
wanted, because at the
2017,
moment the feeling was that we could
She did
have a
great.
back and forth commentary, which is what Lacey Green was actually saying when she also
Yes.
got ostracized from the feminists
Yeah,
that
yeah.
the SJWs, was that we can have a conversation. Conversation shouldn't hurt anybody.
Yeah, and this was right before VidCon. It was right before all of that.
Right before we actually met Lacey
When
and
she
Chris
mentions
Reagan.
the Kekistani flag, so it has to be slightly after VidCon, because she goes, that picture with you and the Kekistani flag.
That was the picture. That was the,
where Chris Worski touched me.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then, but then she says, she puts up a blog that says Kekistan means kill every kike, immediately set up the Aryan Nation. And that's why you're upset. And you're like, I'm in this picture. Okay, before it was fun and games, we don't disagree. Now it's not. And then this blows up into a much larger thing. Now they take a couple clips of, like a 1 minute clip of a MythCon, which is like a 12-hour long event, and try to say it's a shit show because people are cheering that Sargon's standing up
Look,
for censorship, and
I
now
made a
people won't
video
come.
about that.
Well, we're trying to
As
get
well, the Sargon thing.
well, we're not alt-right. We're not even right. We're trying to get like both sides. I mean, it's really an ideas conference. But what one of the problems is, and this isn't true across the board, but it's true to some extent, we can't get the social justice warriors to come to the table to actually talk. And this is upsetting because the flat earthers would come to the table. They're utterly wrong, but at least they'll debate. If
they
you're
think they live on the
table. Like, right.
Yeah, they're on a table.
But that's the thing. Like, we reached out to Kimberly Crenshaw herself.
Because
The founder of intersectionality. I mean, we probably sent 30, 50 emails.
The interaction is gets you ostracized. I mean, that's literally all Lacey Green said is, I think it's okay to have the conversation with the other side. I don't think that's a bad thing. Or making sure that you select who you're talking to.
She's still a feminist. She won't apologize for anything she said in the past, and I respect that.
No, that's fine. Yeah,
so do I.
because stick to your guns. I mean, if nothing else, stick to your guns.
Plus, she's just great.
She's
I
so
love her
sweet.
so much.
She's way sweeter.
She's so nice to us. She drove all the way out to our hotel and picked us up at VidCon
Really?
and took us to Blair White's party
Nice.
to go see Carl. Like, what?
to go see Sargon, and which they had their moment where Lacey Green and Sargon are hugging in the street and she's crying. And I didn't know what was happening. And I walked right by and I'm like, holy shit. Usually I'm the first person to cry at a party. I'm fucking pissed on their fucking moment.
Look.
And on their stereo.
It was a surreal moment, though, at that point when we were sitting in the backseat of her car and she's driving us to Blair White's party. I'm like, what universe is this? What is happening?
The proper one. The one that
Because
just
at the time we
exists.
thought that's what
Exactly.
everything was going to go. It was going to go just merge with time. Everyone will at least understand the other side. You don't have to agree with the other side, but at least understand where
Right.
they're coming from.
I mean, the fact that you could get Jenny McDermott to do her part too. I mean, you
Jenny's
guys are
great.
she was a
clearly-
wild card. We
Yeah.
honestly did not think she was
Because
gonna
we
do it.
made a video clearly making fun of Jenny McDermott. One of our
Yeah.
most popular videos was Jenny McDermott didn't go far enough.
Yeah.
And that was
Brilliant.
a video where we were like,
she
why
needed-
don't you just fucking assassinate
Go kill Armored.
Armored Skeptic? Why don't you just kill him?
And so that was what the whole bit was.
Yeah.
And we fired shots right across her bow, at least. And I was like, look, we should try to ask her, try to contact her. And she's been nothing but cool with us ever
Yeah.
since.
She really has.
I mean, that's
She's been great.
So right away, I was like, you guys have to be in the middle to be able to like pal around and be friendly with everybody else. And I thought that was cool.
The comedy lets
The
it
comedy.
like, it doesn't make it. We're not drawing a serious line in the sand. It's always been very cool.
Yeah, no one takes us seriously, and they give us more credit than we deserve as far as like that we're part of any sort of community. We have no business if you look at our subscriber count to be hanging out with Sargon of Akkad or Blair White or
Jeff Holiday.
or Lacey Green or any of these people, Shoe on Head, any of them. And so but the thing is, I think a lot of creators have seen our videos and they at least respect the production and the comedy, at least to a point where
welcome.
It's the quality over the quantity. So each one of your subscribers is like the Ubermensch, right?
the Superman.
It's actually so it works out, because there was many moments we were at a private house party where we're sitting there talking to Armored Skeptic and Shoe on Head. Actually, Shoe on Head was recording her video. What was that? Shut Up, Tariq.
Yeah, we're at Bunty. It was Bunty
King's house.
Bunty started it and said, "Everyone, we're going to do a Shut Up, Tariq thing." And then she said, "I'll record it and post it." And next thing you know, it's trending.
Yeah, everybody, it's trending worldwide on Twitter, this video, and everybody else there has got 100,000 subscribers or up. And I'm like, why are we even here?
Yeah, why are we sitting here?
like, why do these people hang out with us? Because all we did the whole weekend was drink too much and be too honest.
No, it's but this is the thing is, I mean, we're all kind of trending toward the middle. At least the people who who are trying to be friendly with it. Like I think it started with VidCon. It continued at MythCon when we tried to bring some sides together, and we're trying to make it even more broad stroke with MythCon 5, where we're gonna try and get some panels together, and we don't know 100% what we're doing, but we have a nice short list of people, and so the SJWs, if they want to stay relevant, they have to come to the table. There's no way they're going to be able to have their views heard and have them be publicized.
And bridges are going to be built. I am assuring you of this. Bridges are going to be built, and the next time your conference comes around, things are going to be very, very different. I really respect
look at how many conferences are being canceled who are trying to be ostracizing. TAC was fucking just on one side of it. You had Kilroy being on the exact side of it, and we don't know if that's going to happen, but we kind of try and bridge that gap, try to be somewhere in the middle.
Well, you've done this for years, for several years.
Y'all stayed down the middle, and I think that's what's been great, and I think that's why it was, with Kilroy and TAC. I think that. It's almost like they're like spiteful conferences trying to be open.
Well, here's the problem. Like with TAC, I think what they were saying is, we're not SJW, we're not. But you've got to say, look,
I'm talking about Shives had it out against anyone.
Shives' panel, like Shives won't do it, right? But the rest of it. But the thing is, you have to take a line in the sand, and that's what we did when MythCon, when they said, "Look, you're bringing Nazis," and we just said, "No, we're not." And we're going to keep going because we knew what we were doing. You at some point you can say, well, maybe we should switch this, but at some point you do have to say, this is what we're doing.
Stick to your
guns. Over it.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. I really respect what you guys did. And if I wouldn't have been in India, I would have made the trip. And actually, it's really because Godless Engineer. He's not too far from our neck of the woods. Him and Caitlin.
Yeah.
They've been supporters of our channel for a long time, and also very huge supporters of Mythicist Milwaukee.
We love them,
and we respect the fuck out of those guys.
Well, we got to go to MythCon this next year.
Oh, we're gonna go.
Hell yeah!
And I'm gonna try to book a comedy gig there, so I still get paid.
You guys are hilarious. I was watching your stuff, while doing work, and it was distracting because it was too funny. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to do this while I'm working out or something. Because
you don't do it.
It's good.
Yeah,
I would.
Thank you very much.
I'm chiming in here real quick. MythCon, September 22nd. We're close to having it done. We'll have details soon. But I do want to say, to be fair, to Kilroy's defense, sorry, this is Sean, the producer.
He's usurping the mic.
The disembodied voice.
Because we want to be fair. Kilroy did try to invite a lot of SJWs. The fact that they didn't want to show up, that's a completely different topic.
And I think that the problems that happen with Kilroy are actually more involved with with the management of it and how some of the talent was handled, and also the non-compete agreements and the non-disclosure agreements. And then they started doing things like you can't film there. Whoa.
I think that was
centric. That's a fucking problem.
Yeah, they were running a conference for the first time, and I just don't think they knew. That's the difference. Like, we wouldn't have done that, but we've been down this road before. I mean, we had a couple hundred people at the first MythCons, and yeah, that isn't huge, but it gives you really an idea of how to run a conference. So I think it was just they were new to this. The other thing they could have done, and I think they are going to do it, you got to just here's our speakers, and this is what they are. And unless some amazing thing changes and you got to add, Neil deGrasse Tyson because he says, I'm going to come. Okay, slip him in, but have your speaker list set. Don't keep it flexible.
Yeah, and hopefully Base Mama turns that thing around. So the last thing I'm going to say, not only are the SJWs not showing up to the table, it's getting worse now. They're taking my private pitches where I'm giving them the details and asking them to show up, and they're publicizing it.
Right. So
And
what
they're
Sean
taking
is
my
doing
private
is
emails,
sending out messages, and we're trying to get the people from AHA because they have like full-time social justice coordinators, the Secular Student Alliance, but rather than giving us an email back, they're taking our email, screenshotting it, and then posting, if I didn't say it before, I won't come to a conference that supports rape. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, what about the rape, everybody?
Yeah, y'all didn't even touch on
What about
rape.
the rape, man?
I know. Like,
I want to be promised a good raping.
Yeah, if I drive my ass all the way to fucking Wisconsin
and I'm wearing
I better
assless chaps, and
I
I
better
still
get raped.
right. You better see a snuff film. Right. And like, you're going to see a bunch of nerds. That's the funniest thing. Yeah. It's bizarre.
The most unrapeable hags ever. Oh, that's gonna be quoted.
Oh my God.
Somebody turn that into a gift.
No.
That's gonna be Sargon all over.
But it is politics. It really is. And like this culture war, it is a real thing. And it's okay to identify with the people on the opposite side. And I think your humor is able to bridge that gap to a degree because you can like somebody you disagree with. It's okay to have a good rivalry.
Well, even being nice to someone, I mean, doesn't go enough. When we had Thomas on at our conference, we were, we promoted the shit out of his content, out of his channels. We were super respectful. We were incredibly nice to him when he was there at the pre-party, at the thing, everything, and it didn't get reciprocated. I mean, I can't say enough about it. And so, as much as we try to be respective of the other side and try to be there with everyone, it doesn't. Some people are nice and some people are dicks. And that's how the world works.
That's on all sides.
That's true.
And that's how it's going to be. But I will say,
you.
I'm sure there's dickish shitlords out of there, right? I mean, let's separate out the dicks.
There's a lot of them. But the thing is, by the time what was that, Sean? September 22nd.
Yeah. September 22nd.
That's right, everybody.
It's pretty much nailed down.
But once we start getting close to that, I think you're going to see a big difference in the political climate because there's more than two sides here. And this is something I really want to get into talking about. I actually hadn't put a video out on my channel since the Mythicist Milwaukee video, but the next one I do, which will probably be next week, is actually firing at the other side because I've had a fucking enough. God damn it! I don't like anyone. Everyone disappoints me.
Our channel's just gonna slowly go down the crap.
So here we go. This is we're here, everybody, at the apex of our subscribership. But the thing is, it's not all about punching left. The SJWs and the hardcore progressives are not the only problem we're facing. There are problems out on the fringe of the right, big problems, and they need to be highlighted, not just embraced, because so many YouTube channels during the 2016 election had their channels, their subscribership swollen with right wing sympathizers, and so now they're just keeping those comment section keep pushing their content to the right.
It's called playing to the back of the room. You're basically at this point your content's being dictated by the audience. Yeah. That's why Rush Limbaugh got popular. He just started listening to an audience and just started saying what they wanted to hear.
That's right.
And you start saying what they want to hear, and you start to lose what made
you lose your way.
Yeah,
that's right.
What made you popular? What made you?
But
saying what you thought.
If you're a sellout, I mean, that's the thing is how you going to stick to your principles, or are you just going to chase the dollar? And I think people can
We're here
smell
to chase that dollar,
we will
baby.
chase that dollar, bitch.
But
we maintain. You know, every time we saw this video about Tack. I think that Bering made where he's like,
I saw that. I saw that video.
Where the guy was like, oh yeah, we're not making any money. New York's expensive, and then he's like, well, we're gonna invest all this shit into a bunch of grassroots efforts.
Yeah.
For those people that saw that video and see this, I promise you, we did not make $1 on MythCon 4, and we have never made $1 on any conferences, and I don't even think we're planning on making $1 on MythCon 5. We've lost money every single time.
But it's an investment. I mean, but the thing is, it's not. It's okay to make money too.
But we want to make money.
Of course.
Okay, so let's just make sure that.
I know.
Y'all don't trigger Sean.
I know. Right.
Sean's triggered, but I've made this joke before. Like, I've never gotten a goddamn sandwich on the dime of Mythicist Milwaukee. Like, literally nothing.
Dimitri, it's okay. Tell me to make you a sandwich.
I would love a sandwich. I'm so hungry.
Just say it.
Just say it.
Say it.
I won't even say you're sexist.
Bitch, make me a sandwich.
I'll gladly make you a sandwich.
Money, but we understand that. Like the thing is, we just want to take any kind of revenue that is made and pour it back in there. We pour all into our channel. We pour a lot of our personal money into
it. Spikes.
I'm so sorry. I know I keep stabbing you.
Why do you have to put the spiky one, the long spiky one on this side?
These are actually less sharp than these.
Yeah, ow! But that's proving.
I'm glad you don't wear spikes, dude.
Stop.
I'm helping you. Help me help you.
Yeah, we were looking for like a shtick to do on our thing, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna wear kind of what I wore to MythCon 4, and Brian was like,
shtick.
Well, fine, I'm gonna wear a jacket too, and so now he copied.
I don't know which one of these cute boys I want to give the rose to. What do you think, Pat?
I'm gonna pull an Ellen Pompeo and say, "Pick me, pick me."
No, he's got the salt and pepper. He's got.
You know what's funny about?
He's got the George Clooney. It's not fair. What do I have? The Dave fucking Franco? That's the closest I got. Jesus.
You know what's funny about it's a bachelor joke, normies. I mean, non-normies. And the thing is, what's funny is most of our videos get filmed during The Bachelor.
Yeah,
because his wife insists on watching The Bachelor.
She's busy.
She's busy, and so he could come over to the studio and we could film a bit because she's busy watching The Bachelor.
No, that's fantastic.
I'll bring you a rose.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm never getting a rose from her. She couldn't hate me more.
If maybe a weird segue, but is organized atheism dead? Because
Yes.
with MythCon, we're trying to be in ideas.
I'll tell you what it is. It's the YouTube version of atheism that's just chaotic.
It's in disarray, but that's spread out, man. Don't think that like people like David Silverman and and some of these other guys haven't felt the impact of YouTube
they're
skepticism.
they're very threatened.
But Silverman came out and said that his bile bubbled and that he called our conference like a rape apologist conference.
That
he
was
bought
a
hook,
little
line,
bit
and the
bitchy.
sinker.
I will give that. That's a little bitchy.
Yeah. I mean, before we actually released the video, because it took us about a week to get it out due to some technical issues. We couldn't get the video out in its full form for a week.
Everybody complained. I think I sent a tweet out complaining.
Yeah, so we couldn't get it, but that's the thing. You can't judge. I mean, aren't we supposed to do that? The Bible tells me that this story is all right, so I'm not even going to check it out. I'm going to believe it. I felt like that's what he was doing.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of that.
You got to play to the normies.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to remember also Silverman pictures himself as king shit of atheism.
Right, but I'm a prophet. So, I'm going to found the branch Davidians. This is where it goes. Come on, dude. He's got to employ his own skepticism.
Davidians, see, it's David. See?
I get it.
And you
I get it.
You have to know
really
where this is going. I mean, there's a trend. And if you have mainstream TV, mainstream dinosaurs who are just not hacking it in the 21st century, you have to know where this is going. You got to latch on to the people who have a following, have fucking hundreds of thousands of YouTube followers. Those are the people that have social influence. So why not have them be the vanguard of the atheist movement if that's the case? Or is atheism not so popular anymore because it's so mainstream? I mean, it's not like we're renegades anymore.
Not cool anymore.
We created enough space, maybe for ourselves.
Even at work, I was like, "Yeah, I'm co-hosting an atheist conference." Whatever I
They're like,
said.
yeah, aren't we all boring?
My manager was like, "Yeah, whatever." He didn't give a shit.
The watchtowers showed up at the front door,
Did they?
That's the Jehovah's
Bringing your
Witness.
current monthly issue.
and my dad was sitting there, and they were like trying to like talk him into believing, and they asked if they could come in and pray with him. He goes, "No, I'm an atheist." They were like, "Then we need to pray with you." He goes, "Nah,
No,
you didn't. I don't think you understood what I said."
you didn't hear me.
And so I stopped by my parents' house today, and my dad told me what happened. I went, "Did you tell him I was going on a atheist podcast later to talk about atheist stuff? Like not just a armchair atheist. Like I really but I'm hitting the ground running with atheism."
But he wasn't the one. I had someone come to my door trying to sell me Jesus, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't. Let me be real with you. I'm very atheist. I don't.
Like,
You know what's?
I'm not dabbling in
I'm
atheism.
different. I'm different
think you
there.
understand.
And the reason I have that Book of Mormon upstairs is because when the Mormons showed up on my door, I was like, come on in here, buddy. I got some fucking questions.
I got questions for you.
I got questions for you, dude. And I want to understand a little bit more about how the Book of Mormon can plug some fucking holes in the Old Testament for me,
It's all about
baby.
plugging holes.
And then maybe, if things could go right, we have a little wine. We'll do we'll plug some other holes there in the bedroom. But
Beautiful.
they didn't like that joke.
No,
No, they
bro,
didn't.
they didn't.
I invite him
I'll
in.
bring him in.
I invite him
I
in.
wanna
I
talk about
opened up my. They said, "Would you like to pray with us?" And I'm like, "Hang on, let me get my Bible." And I break the Skeptic's Annotated Bible up, which they asked me which version.
Skeptic's Annotated
and I'd say
Bible
this is
truly a
Skeptic
great piece.
Annotated, and they're like, "Oh, I've never heard of that before," but it has a fantastic $40 cover. So I mean,
don't wanna hear
it
that.
looks good, but. I mean, my point is, is organized atheism, because like things have become tribal. Am I really against the moderate religious person that says I believe in separation of church and state? It's hard for me. Usually, if they say I believe in separation of church and state, I'm like, debate over. I mean, we can have a friendly debate, but it doesn't really matter, right? I mean, it's fun, but it's inconsequential. So, like, you can have your moderate Christians now ally with, like, liberal atheists, and then you can have kind of very religious, ally with other atheists on the other side. So, that's the thing, is I don't feel like organized atheism is getting at that. So instead, it's more ideology. It's intractable, like ideologies that are just implacably opposed to any kind of change, that go into a purity
I feel like
spiral.
this is going to pass. This too shall pass here.
Yeah.
And that organized atheism will become more, and organize them outside of YouTube, that will become more relevant as we see things go through this year. I feel like if the four of us had the same conversation a year from now, it would be very different, and you will all say one thing: Sophane was right.
You're dead, but yes, we'll say that.
I mean, like, say it.
I'm going to pour one out for my homie Sophane.
In memoriam. Like, I mean,
But in the Middle
he
East,
was right.
in Asia, in a lot of places, in Africa, the religion in Latin America is very relevant. So it just is it different in United States, Canada, and say
you
Europe?
have to have new leadership. I mean, who's going to be the new four horsemen or whatever you want to call it?
Hey, there's four of us right here, and all of us believe in horses.
Hey, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Cantering.
We need-
That's like almost a gallop.
Cantering, like, all right, if you cantered, tell me this, since you said the word canter, which I feel like I just learned a little about who you are.
You did.
If you were to canter right now, you were to burst into a canter, would you be a left lead or a right lead?
Boy, I think right. I think all the horses I've seen canter clockwise, but that's only like 3. But
I'm sorry, man. I grew
Equestrian-
up on a fucking farm,
equestrian
dude.
questions.
I got equestrian questions.
hey, I was trying to pick up on a girl that loved horses.
Equestrian?
Questions.
I knew where that
Come
was
on,
going. I knew you could answer that.
You stick to the material. Don't just stare at her boobs.
He could have
Come
come
on.
up with anything. He could have said trot. He could have said gallop.
Canter.
Yeah.
She taught me a lot. Come on. Like,
There's another one.
there's
Canter
something.
is a very specific term. Like no one says canter that doesn't have.
It could
at
mean
least watch a
it could
little
mean very
equestrian
true.
Olympics.
Yeah. So here's my other thing. It's like with like say Blair White, right? She
Yes.
a trans person who is considered right leaning, right? She's owns conservatism. She voted for Trump openly. Now you have somebody like ContraPoints or Zinnia Jones on the other side. To me, like both are needed because there's no way that your average Republican is going to listen to like a ContraPoints or Zinnia Jones. But Blair White can convince her.
Not Zinnia Jones. I think ContraPoints maybe a little bit more, but Zinnia Jones is fucking nut job.
Right. Okay, fine. But you need somebody, okay, well, they agree with Republicanism. So I believe that Blair White has done more to normalize things like trans on the right than anything. So to me, if you're a trans person on the left, you can say, look, Blair and I disagree on a whole host of stuff, but she's still really good at normalizing trans. So why can't you just share this one thing? I don't understand why you have to share the whole
That
like dinner.
paintbrush
We
is
can't
very
just like
thick, and
vegetables or steak or whatever.
No, I can tell you why. Because Blair White is arguably, from their perspective, going to shift people over to the right. Because how many people are like,
yes, I agree.
Oh shit, you know, she's culturally left, but she's fiscally right. Maybe it's not a bad thing that I think that poor people don't get handouts. Boom, you've now converted how many people over to voting Republican?
And that's part of this slow march to the right that the skeptics and the anti-SJWs have made possible over the last few months. And now that we're seeing, you know, Andy, you know what? I'm not going to fucking spill the beans. I'm not going to
do it.
I'm not going to get too much out there, but
it'll be on your channel, right?
But yeah, I'm
Not
going
ours.
to. Well, probably not because it's not going to be funny. It's going to be fucking bitchy, and I like to keep that to myself.
But you have to film those. You have to film all of those in India. That's the rule.
Yeah. I gotta find somewhere interesting to film where people are like, "Who the fuck?"
Buford Highway, dude.
Yeah, you're right. Here in Georgia, look, there's streets here that are just as fucked up as Jaipur. Don't be fooled. This is Georgia.
You could go to Sri Lanka. It's a whole island. Just sound big island.
Yeah, but the thing is, we are marching to the right here, and you know, Blair has helped this, and I think it's going to cause as the crowd moves farther to the right, and you've already seen it with Blair. So
that's that pendulum swinging.
It's the pendulum, and as the pendulum starts swinging the back the other way, you're going to see Blair start to have some. She's going to have a little bit of cognitive dissonance with some of the messaging. And she's come out and said some of this things. She's come out and apologized for some of the things she said when she was too critical of people because she
of like
considered them
Riley
SJWs.
Dennis. Yeah. That was
So
one.
I think this will continue. And because really what everybody wants is for the pendulum to slow down and end up somewhere in the center.
I don't think that's the
Agreed.
case. I don't think that that's what everyone wants. Your Shiveses of the world and frankly Christie's are definitely wanting this to be like, you know,
There's
far
propagandists.
leftist.
They're always going to be that. There's
Fascist.
always going to be that.
There's always
But
someone
Paul
that helps
Joseph
pull the
Watson would be
pendulum.
the equivalent on the other side.
And so I was actually thinking about them today because, and I'm going to plug my favorite podcast of all time, which is about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, this Martyr Made podcast, which I absolutely love. So they're talking about
There's a pterodactyl in your room.
it's a
That was
pterodactyl.
really good.
It's enormous.
Spotted that hummingbird.
Yeah, they just buzzed through the tower.
Oh my god. No, they're talking about the 1930s and how the Nazis at that time were seen as the progressives of the whole generation, of how all of those ideas about race and how we need to segregate based on race, how races are different. That was seen as a progressive position. And I'm just thinking, Jesus.
God, I know.
Right now, the most progressive positions, I think of them as being Nazis. I think of them as being
But race matters.
As race matters, of course, but as being so one-dimensional. And 10 years, however many years, 2 years from now, we're going to look back and go, how could you have a position like that? How could you be so fascist?
The next thing you're going to see, the next big conversation that's going to happen in the skeptic community is going to be about race realism. And that's going to be a very difficult very difficult concept for people in the skeptic community who have been pushed so far right to disagree with. And there's some very old arguments that are going to be coming back up. We are going to see a lot of shit that happened in YouTube in 2012, which a lot of people don't know about now.
In 2012?
But we've already had the race realism discussion.
Okay.
We've already done a lot of these things. But it is going to be the next big topic. And right now everybody's picking sides. And right now the race realists are really gaining all the steam, but they're going to have a hard time with the counter arguments that we're going to see coming forward.
There's some point to debunking radicals. And I do think that mouthy Buddhist stuff out there, I think that's actually a good thing. Like some of that, when I listen to it, when he's breaking down the Jewish question, it's really weird because you're like, do we have to talk about this? But the thing is, yes, there are radicals that believe in this. And if you don't take them at their face and then debunk it in a sane way, you're not going to de-radicalize these people. And I think that's a good thing.
You know, that guy came out as saying that his statements were anti-Semitic to an extent. And I watched his Jewish question thing too.
No.
Which was, I thought
Are you guys talking about Mouthy Buddha?
Yeah, Mouthy Buddha. Yeah.
Sorry, my articulation's not good.
He didn't articulate very well. Yeah, he had a whole thing saying, shit, I may have been anti-Semitic for X number.
He did. But then if you'll notice, he just did that video with JF, his race realism. What is race realism? Or race realism was explained in 6 minutes or something like that. Which is actually a good video. It just leaves some holes in the theory. It explains the high altitude of what's going on there, but and puts it into JF's favorite ball pit analogy. But look, I got balls. And they bang all over the fucking place. There's holes in that fucking analogy.
Yeah.
And this is going to start coming out because right now, look, a lot of people are sitting back. A lot of people are sitting back on this subject and thinking about this, looking at it from the outside. But I assure you, people will be jumping into the fray soon and bringing some of this up. And maybe it's my hopeful thinking, because one thing I do want to say is there is no skeptic fucking conspiracy to condemn Andy Warski for wrong think.
That's true.
The tweet I fucking made was not inspired by fucking anyone. I just thought that what was happening on Andy Warski's live stream was fucking bullshit.
Are you going to use this is your platform?
I got to pee so fucking bad that now, like, it's just making urine come out of my mouth. I'll be right back.
So what?
Wow, spin at the hornet's nest and then leave me here.
God damn! I didn't take the piss out of him, did I?
Now you have to answer for all those
so
comments.
What do you guys think of like Sargon's thing about rebranding under the name of liberalism instead of the skeptic community?
I'm owning that shit
because like a lot of skeptics 100%. Too, you know, like
I mean, look,
I don't.
Yeah, you can can try to rebrand a name. It's like renaming a band. Just renaming a band is the same thing. It's still the same band. So it's like, yes, the term has gotten dirtied and muddied over.
But it's helped.
Time.
It helped Blue Oyster Cult. Remember, but they were called something else before. And
right, and it gets to that point where it's like, okay, sure.
Sophane would be going nuts, but he's in the pisser.
Changed his name to armored libertarian or liberalist, and I don't see him doing that. But yeah, the term skeptic at this point has almost gotten to be like, I just don't like the same thing with the Keck thing. The Keck thing died because they were able to staple on a tag to it to take it down. And that's going to happen no matter which way you put it. Now, trying to stick it into this where it already has some sort of home in whether it's left, right, and middle, that at least should hopefully hold it somewhere. But all of a sudden, everyone's going to be scared of the middle. And they're going to start running other directions.
I don't know about getting scared of the middle. I mean, the middle has never organized. That's the whole big thing. This is Sargon's attempt. I mean, he has a big enough goddamn following. He has over 700,000, subscribers. So he
You gotta pee again?
he can call out and put out the bat signal, and everyone gathers under that, which we're totally fine with because we've always been centrist. And so, centrist doesn't sound sexy. People hear that and they go, well, you're full of shit. So now if we can gather under the liberalist moniker, shit, I'm all
but I just
for
don't
that.
know if that's a unifying message necessarily.
like
it
someone
may
trying
or
to-
may not be.
okay.
Because
But whether
if you're in the
it's
middle,
straight
you
or
share
gay, and then there's bi, and then everyone says you got to pick one.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
Right.
you pick the center, but guess what? The center sounds like indecisive. And
It's super
Yeah,
indecisive.
it's not sexy.
Are you
No.
allowed?
Have you ever been in the center?
Are you allowed on Grindr if you're bi?
Yeah, if you pick
Are
bi,
you?
are you?
I don't know.
Quick, someone
Gotta be,
download it.
right?
Sometimes.
Are they
is my work
exclusionary
phone.
on Grindr?
Sean, download it. See if you can pick it.
He didn't have to download. Her has it.
I don't have my phone, so I can't open the app and tell you.
We're very pro.
I mean, the point is, like, what we want MythCon to be an ideas conference. I mean, Sargon's idea that liberals, it might work, it may not. I mean, I'm not sure. I just wanted to see
Well,
what you
he's
think
going to
about
have
it.
to do better than he did in that Richard Spencer
Oh, the Richard-
debate the other day. He's going to have to do better in round 2.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that
we
yet.
haven't-
I've
we
heard
haven't-
about it.
We haven't seen it. Was it not an amazing showing?
It was all right. Look, some of those guys. Look, I feel like I will say Andy plays the matador, which the raging alt righter comes at him and he just woohoo, and lets it go by. And I feel like Sargon did a little bit of that
Like dancing?
in the first debate. Didn't really try to pin him down, but really it's because the environment that the debate is happening in is a very far right wing environment. They've been poisoning the well, if you will, a little bit.
Plug it, baby.
against
Plug it.
anyone who uses the phrase liberal in any fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Whether so rebrand liberal any way you want. That's still not a fair talking ground. Actually, I would have loved to have seen what would have happened at Mythicist Milwaukee with a different person sitting on the other side of Sargon, someone
who wanted to be on stage. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, he felt like he had to because he had already made that argument. But that's why we're looking
I
for...
I totally agree with that.
For a perfect person to have, or multiple people, because we're talking about a panel, to have that conversation is people who have the balls and who can stand there and not be super
We have
emotional.
something lined up. I don't know if we're allowed to say it yet. That's the thing. We have something really good that I want to say, but I don't think
Sean's
I'm
gonna
allowed
blow
to.
his load right
Yes,
now. seriously.
you're gonna like MythCon 5 then if you want to see someone on the opposite side of that. Yeah.
we will be there regardless. I'm
Yeah.
going to be down there.
You will
be there.
not
I'm
be
gonna sit up in the
disappointed.
front row with a camera on myself.
Right. So that's the point. Is Dimitri, you weren't at the last meeting where we got the confirmation on that, so we're not allowed to say yet, but we do have something really good for you that I can say.
I will book myself at Joker's up in Milwaukee, and that way
Joker.
work.
F yeah.
He's played Jokers before.
I know.
He knows the
it's
people.
right next to
That's a strip
Silk
club.
too. Right. I know.
told me
Wait,
stories
I
about
walked into the wrong place and I couldn't believe it.
Hold on, you're gonna be at Silk?
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Only
No,
local people know what Silk is.
I know.
Silk is the best place ever.
Well, now you have to sell
But
it.
like it's funny, you go to Joker's Comedy Club and you hear the thumping of, like this, stripper music, basically.
And they had the male review in the comedy club after
That's
the
right.
comedy's over. And normally the comedians, we all rush upstairs to go to Silk, right? Because that's where all the chicks are. But let me tell you something. If you stay down in that male review,
That's where
all the
chicks
horny
are.
chicks are.
That's what the
and they
chicks who
can't
came
touch them.
But they can touch you.
No, they can touch me. Well, no, I can't touch me now.
Now they
Don't worry, I'll
can.
come
You guys
with
have really
I'll be
thought
there with
this.
you.
I
Where's
don't.
that ring?
Why didn't I ever apply any strategy to this? God, you guys have really Billy balled this, and it's impressive. Like,
Oh,
so I mean, but it's good
No,
to see you guys. Like I think you
we're-
guys do like really honor like the skeptic idea thing. The fact that you're about ideas. We can throw them at you. You can throw them back.
well,
and-
we're
and
excited
that's
about the
what we like.
future. I think you guys are on the same mission as us. A more egalitarian, a more
Absolute fucking
pluralistic society. Everyone
Yes.
has a voice. We just kind of come together, shoot the shit, and no one runs a car into each other. And then we're
Yeah.
Yes.
Look,
And we can
if you
actually
ever-
crack a joke.
You're
Yes.
sitting on the bus or plane and you start talking to the person next to you. You start asking them what their religion is, what politics they believe in. No, you sit there and
No.
just chat. So
Yeah.
everyone has a middle ground somewhere.
Yeah.
That's right.
You get along with people. You don't walk around elbowing people or hitting them with your
Yeah.
car. You just you deal with
And
everybody.
That's why we
All
have
of them-
these breakups of families, like during Trump, because people can be friends that had different political views. And all of a sudden, it's not cool to be friends with people that don't share your views.
I have to deal with it with my brother. My brother has not spoken to my mom since the election because she voted for Trump.
We gotta
over
go
Hillary.
back to
she's an
the old
idiot.
way.
I love her.
That's so stupid.
I'm sorry. Was Hillary your option?
Look, I know voting for Trump wasn't.
But I didn't vote for either because
I
fuck
voted for
both
Hillary.
of them.
I voted for Hillary.
Thank,
well, then
thank,
I know you didn't.
thank
vote
you,
for
Pat.
anybody.
Thank you,
They're
Pat.
both horrible. I actually would have voted Bernie had he gotten.
I would have
I
voted
got-
Bernie too, and I think
Course,
but he did.
everyone.
He got fucked over. So, but fuck. Like
I voted for him in the primary.
by the time it actually came down to these two people, are you fucking serious?
Hey,
I
Fane, Fane, you could have wrote in Bernie just to say how disenfranchised you were. Thank you for pointing at me. Tom was pissed at me when I told him that. I told
Tom
him.
who?
You know Tom.
No, I don't. Okay, but Tom.
Dox him. Dox him.
Yeah.
Scapegoat
Shit
Tom.
on Tom.
Scapegoat Tom. Thomas Smith. Who else? Which Tom? Some random Tom. When I told him I wrote it in, he's like, you Uncle Tom, or whatever the hell he called me.
You Uncle
He
Me.
can't call you that. That doesn't make sense. I wrote in Andrew WK.
Who?
Yeah, you did. Andrew WK. Come on.
Yeah, he's
don't-
the
You don't know
part-
Andrew WK, guys?
No,
Look,
no,
let,
we
let
don't
us
know
do
who
one thing for you. One thing besides sap
when
off
it's
your
time to
popularity.
party, you party hard.
Listen to Andrew WK. All his music is the music that brings everyone together.
Yeah.
His music is about one fucking subject.
Tell me.
Partying.
Partying. That's all it is. That's all it is.
Is this Andrew?
Just Google
Andrew
Andrew WK,
Dice
click on the
Clay's
first
son?
fucking video you see and
I
watch
voted.
this guy rock
I
out.
voted for the party.
Party.
How is that not Afro Man? I don't understand.
All right, we'll
that-
look it up.
you know what?
I'll
You
look
know
it up.
what?
Promise.
You just don't understand.
You know what? That's fine.
man.
But look, if there's any cool people in the chat, will you fucking just back us up with the Andrew WK
I just realized you
thing?
can totally see my horrible bruise from snowboarding.
Oh yeah, we
Uh,
fucked that shit up
See
in
how
Gallenberg,
totes
Tennessee.
awesome we are. We snowboard. Fuck it.
I mean, that's-
I'm not
So
good at
edgy,
it.
guys.
That's
They're
awful.
up there where they got real fucking snow. They haven't gone outside in a week.
Well, I mean, real OG ski. So I don't know what you're doing over there, but
I don't know. Like I
Happy
consider
Edge, more
myself
out
a
of
normie
control.
when
Do
I
you
ski.
guys have mountains near there? Do you have like ski
No, we
resorts
have-
near where you're at?
we have
Well, like
we have-
how high is the mountain? 50
come on.
feet?
What? Shut up.
If so, yes.
we have
well,
we have pussy.
No,
Mountain.
we don't.
Prospect.
We
I'm
do
sorry.
not.
We were just trying to ask because we're like, because the next question was, can we stay at your place? We'll be there in 2 weeks.
100%. Yes. We will host you. We got this.
Like the best thing we have are landfills that are done with, and you ski down those. Seriously, that's what they
I
have.
believe it. I could actually see that.
I feel like you're
I'm not making
even
up.
the shitty places like Little Switzerland are better than what
Smart
they have in Georgia.
landfill owners know what to do with their old landfills.
Yeah, you build a fucking mountain, you just build that shit up, and then in the winter, you
I don't-
fucking
It's
turn
better
it
than
into
driving
slopes.
6
I could
hours
get
north.
with it.
Here's what
Because you have to drive 6 hours north
here's
to get good skiing.
here's what we need to know before we sign off here. What's your
Yes.
guys' drink of choice?
All right, look, we drink a lot of things, and there's a, and you know what?
Obviously.
I'm upset because I was hoping I was going to have it ready for this, but it's not ready. We don't have the cart so that we could wheel out.
Dude, hold on. Don't take our shit, Sophane, because that's what we're about to do. Like we had our gin and tonics, which by the way, I'm very dry right now. But in the future, we're gonna have a goddamn shelf if I have anything to say for it. And
Yes,
it's just,
a cart because we have a couple of things that go on a cart that we can wheel in during live streams or other significant events, such as this one right here. Upstairs,
what's on the cart?
We have a official Red Bull refrigerator, right? It's a one of those mini fridges that's Red Bull branded, the ones you would see in a bar.
All right.
We also have a 3-liter
Jägermeister machine.
3 liters is like
Jägerator
double
is what they
wine.
call
No,
it.
That's like
I know
4
what
wine
they're talking
bottles.
about. No, I know what they're talking about. It's like a cooler,
Yeah.
so it cools the drink while.
Yeah, so it's a refrigerator, and it's got a tap so you can pour
Yeah, yeah.
Jaeger.
God damn.
And so they asked us what our favorite drink was. Now, look, we rep moonshine fucking hard, because not just because we've got some potential sponsorships from moonshine companies,
It's super delicious
and it's good.
and super fucky uppy. It's the Jaeger bomb is actually what.
That's our shit.
Well, that's what
All right.
bonded
all
our
right.
friendship
That's what made us who we are.
originally when we actually.
Come here.
Shh.
Yeah,
Don't
you're
talk to me.
adorable.
Shh.
But
We have no Jaeger at home.
yeah, we're out right now.
Come
That's
on.
okay. We had 100
That's a
right before the show. We had a shot of
blasphemy.
100 proof moonshine. We followed up with a shot of 70 proof.
Cool it off.
Yeah.
By the way,
So
when you guys come here for MythCon 5, you better bring us a bottle so that we can crack
We will
that shit.
absolutely bring you
I
our
will
favorite.
bootleg. I'll bootleg the shit out of that thing. Yeah.
Yes.
We'll bring you our favorite. And actually, maybe we have a local stiller, a local moonshiner.
Oh,
we're
tell
gonna
us more.
Shut your hole, man.
But
Worse than doxing.
It is worse.
It's a
'cause it'll
federal
get you-
offense, asshole.
It will get you arrested. But he makes his shine on a fruit base. I mean, each one of these
160 proof.
each one of these jars
Yes.
has got to cost him $80 to fucking make.
So much.
But what ends up happening with 160 proof liquor, you will not motherfucking believe.
Tell me more.
And when you taste it, you'll go,
You shit your
"Holy
pants.
shit,
That shit will light on
awesome."
fire.
You do shit your pants a little.
Yeah.
Who wants to light it on fire? I want to put that in me.
Yes, you do. Do not allow flames near it. Vape.
run your-
Vape when you're drinking a good moonshine, everybody.
Okay.
Gotta run your car on it.
All right.
But it's so fucking delicious. You won't believe it. You guys will be really happy. We will absolutely bring a couple jars.
We're pretty
up,
excited.
Milwaukee.
We're excited for MythCon 5. We're excited for everything that you guys are producing.
Yeah, it's great stuff.
We
Great.
watched a bunch of videos on our, in our research for your channel. We didn't even get to talk about like your logic, fucking rap battle. And
awesome.
Oh, there's a
The
part 2
Christmas
that will be coming
stories.
out.
There's a part 2 coming.
Oh.
There's a part 2. That battle is not done. Logic and Armored Skeptic have more beef that they need to settle.
I
And
assume
we'll settle it.
Who
we will
sang
settle.
the Romanian chick.
Well, yeah,
Didn't you
they
see that?
no, they get the I want to F your mother is the savage way to say like Merry Christmas.
Oh,
Like, that was awesome. I like that was really good, and like
In
you would have
our
missed it if you didn't stay to
Christmas
the end. That was
That
hilarious.
Was the Beard song.
Oh, yes, the Beard Barian song.
That was so funny. I listened to that like 10 times, and it was at the end.
It was Vamp Candy and Beard Barian.
That's
brilliant.
2 friends of ours. Very
Yeah.
small channels, but
amazing.
they came together and made this
hilarious.
little song. And actually, they're very talented.
And
They
so
were
are you
able to
guys.
sing. We need so much production.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need a lot of.
Well, you said
production.
you got a ton of stuff. We really hope to see some of the stuff that you said you've got filmed but not yet edited. Partially due to the wedding. So
Done
we're here
your
for that.
fucking research.
I'm
Holy
terrified.
shit!
Like
We're
someone
there.
there.
We're
I
there.
say these things and I think nobody's gonna fucking hear them. Nobody will.
Are you shitting me? We listen to everything. You can't get it past us. But meanwhile, we have questions from the chat, which we need to get
2 times.
to. Oh yeah, 2 times over.
Yeah, I will give you an option to choose here.
Can you hear that sexy voice? That's not.
That's Nicaraguan.
That's not what he sounds like in real life.
This is totally my voice in
he
real
does
life.
it- he
We
does it
have 2
specifically.
options here for
He's
you.
trying to turn you on, Dimitri. And
You get to
I love
choose.
Sean's
It works.
voice
Kappa
and his
P
email
asks,
etiquette.
Can you ask Pat what it's like to be poked by Sophane? Or Shadow Kane, is it possible to find enlightenment and not have the need for safe spaces to hide from it? You have an option.
I like that first one.
Okay.
Well, I think you guys should do both.
Yeah. look,
Okay,
I'm
so
gonna answer
first,
the first one.
yeah. Okay. And I'm assuming he means spikes, and that was Fritz, by the way. That
The
did
only
that.
way that he interests me is with spikes.
Okay, I assumed he meant spikes, but we don't know, so we just want to clarify.
We saw it on camera.
He has. Look, he has actually cut me open one time with a spike. He hit me in the eyebrow.
Oh,
We
my
were,
sunglasses.
we were on a boat, which is also not a good place to wear spikes with a bunch of people.
I felt like it was.
Then we were both diving into the cooler for another beer, and we just bumped heads, and he split me open with that. No, it wasn't that. Wrong glasses, but
It was a different pair, but I had a big
I had
corner.
a big spike off the corner, and it just bam. I'm like, ow. He goes, oh, did I catch you? And you see this trickle of blood come down my forehead. I'm like,
no, not at all.
Oh. Sid, you're here. Thank
Now,
God.
so look,
Like you look like Jesus Christ now. One thorn.
Now let's handle. Are you done answering the first
I
question
answered
there?
the first one. It hurts and
Was that the only poking?
Yeah, it hurts. It hurts. It hurts. And it's romantic. All right, now, the second one, is it possible to have enlightenment without safe spaces? I think the only way you can have enlightenment is without safe spaces. And the true enlightenment. But safe spaces can be created on either wing of the political spectrum. So be careful, everybody. It doesn't matter. Safe spaces aren't limited to the left. Safe spaces exist on the right as well, and we are constructing them right now.
There's two types of snowflakes.
That's right.
And both of them.
People say there's an unlimited amount of snowflakes. So far, I've only seen two, and that's one's on the left and one's on the right. It's a true thing, everybody.
Yeah, but we haven't seen those right.
No,
right
we have like a religious.
No.
The religious right is a great example.
No. I'm talking about when Ben Shapiro goes to speak at fucking Berkeley or whatever, and you have however many people trying to stop him. How is that? That's not.
Bitchy.
They didn't make a safe space.
No, because the right safe
just
spaces
hired
don't exist on college
600,000
campuses.
Wait for it. The right side.
I think things are going to change.
You're going to start seeing the right safe spaces start showing up. The alt-right snowflakes will start showing up, and they will be just as bitchy and catty as the left.
And they will want to shut down the communication from the left.
Oh, it's already started. That's already started.
It's already started.
No, you can. Like in Wisconsin, we had the same thing with campus protests getting out of control, classrooms being disrupted, Ben Shapiro being disrupted. So a red legislature. Republican legislatures seek to defund gender studies, and now that's the wrong solution to addressing the right problem. Like the right solution is punish protesters that don't protest us within X guidelines, which essentially the universities agreed to do, is punish protesters to get out of line. So now that they don't have to do the law, but this is the overreaction.
And the thing is, this isn't the first time. And if you think you're witnessing this for the first time, you're incorrect, everybody. Back during George W. Bush, he came to in his first term, he came to Pensacola, Florida, where I lived at the time, and I actually went to go. He was speaking at the Pensacola Civic Center, and I went, and they were asking people as they came in which party they were for and what their political affiliations were.
I think it's very important that if you don't agree with someone, you go see what they have to say, not just sit here.
I totally agree.
I went to listen. They asked me what my political affiliation was, and I said I was a liberal, and so they checked the Democrat box, and they sent me to a free speech zone. Nobody seems to remember free speech zones existed right after 9/11 is when the free speech side. And that was where if you came and you wanted to that, you had to go sit in this fenced area. It was chain link fenced, and I found myself in there with all the liberals way far in the fucking back, chain links, so that we couldn't get to anybody else. I was like, what the fuck is this? This is not free speech. This isn't anything. I can't even just go sit with everyone else, and then if I disagree with something, just say, hey, fuck that.
Because free speech is considered the right side. It's correct. Free speech.
I understand, but this has switched.
That pendulum, man, keeps moving.
That's right. 15 years ago, it was the other fucking direction. And free speech zones, Google them, everybody, sense. They existed.
Post 9/11, it would have been difficult to say, yeah, I'm sympathetic with Marxism. Like that would have been.
That's right. It would have been. Oh, I wish I would have worn my America First shirt. I got a new America First shirt that you haven't seen. It's commie red with in yellow a Russian font that says America First with a K. Oh,
right.
Oh, you're gonna love it.
Right, and like they teach Marx. I mean, it's okay to study Marx. Do we want to live in a communist society? Probably not. But can we talk about Marxism? Fuck yeah. But so we can talk about immigration too without being a racist.
The whole point is that we should embrace people who don't think like we do. And I don't, for whatever reason, we keep bringing up Ben Shapiro on this thing, but during his talks, he has this rule. If you have an opinion that doesn't agree with me,
first in line,
then you're first in line, and you get to ask your question. And that
I do like that. I do like that about Ben Shapiro. I disagree with him a lot. That's what the point is, though. That's
what the point is. Isn't that I mean, the whole thing about having the conversation is well, yeah, but if you're just like I said, making jokes for the back of the room where you're only just talking to your vacuum, then what the fuck does it matter? Doesn't matter. You're just appeasing your
Yes.
audience, and that doesn't mean
Absolutely
shit.
right.
So I want to have the conversation with someone I don't agree with.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep. And that's why we let Karen Garst, ask the first question, to Sargon and Karen Smith. You may, there's more that I would have to say about that. So we've got great things.
We're gonna have a lot more of that on
Yes.
September 22nd. Now that that's an actual thing.
That's a date. I heard Sean say it
I put it on
in his very sexy American announcer voice.
He fucking said it. No, we can't wait
September
to see you
22nd.
guys there.
sell you the whole seat, but you only need the edge. I cannot do it. I wish I could be a monster truck.
That
dude.
was good.
I wish
that
I
was
could.
good, but you didn't say
Sunday.
it. You have to be
That's
more
it.
excited for that. No,
Super Bowl Motorsports.
guys, we had an amazing time talking to you. We feel like we could go for another hour, but
Yeah, probably we could too.
Our livers could hold up.
I mean, I had the one drink. I'm frankly
He's shaking over here. He needs another.
I had
disembodied.
2 shots and I'm on my 3rd beer.
Whatever.
I know you're
Having a good time.
pissing
Are
me
you
off right now.
serious?
You're too empty.
Come on, man.
I went and got another one when I peed. I doubled down.
You're
I just
ma-
drink your water. The pee
You're
water
making
is
me
really
jealous,
high,
and I'm-
high octane,
and,
man.
and if we had the shelf that I really wanted, I could just grab
reach.
something. I could just
See,
reach.
I'm telling you, the cart has got to happen.
I told you. Look, I get it. I get
getting
it.
that cart.
As soon as I
This
find
is-
that cart, we're gonna
this-
roll it in.
this
dude.
is
People will be so
show-
impressed.
This is show
With our
one for
alcoholism.
us. We're gonna improve. We may even put a bottle on. We'll see. We'll play around with this.
Less ficuses, more booze.
less ficuses.
Ficusci?
Yeah.
Ficuses?
I'm pretty sure. I don't know.
Hey, I've worked hard on these fucking things.
Ficusin?
I love your set. I got to tell you, I love it. It looks very professional. We were super intimidated as soon as the camera came on. I was
Dude,
like, oh,
we're not. This is first of all, this is take one. Second of all, as I see you guys close up and personal, I'm like, man, maybe we should have moved our camera up, like less tree and more
Get a little
Brian's
tight. Get
face.
tight. Make it about you. Make
Yeah.
it about you. You guys are adorable.
It's
got a lot
not,
of
it's not
negative
really
space.
about us. It's we got a lot of negative. Well, we can stretch out, right?
No.
Yeah, you
You can give me a hug. It's
All the way
okay.
over there. Do you want to?
Yeah. So he wants. Yeah. Look at this. Look at this
See?
bromance.
See?
Right.
That's the poison the well effect, everybody.
I don't have to pick a side.
Start touching.
Start entering each other. Bam!
Yeah, I got to start wearing spiked glasses, motherfucker.
I know. Like, that's the way to do it.
No, this is perfect. We cannot thank you guys anymore for being episode 1 for us. This is unbelievable. We are sure we're gonna have you guys back.
That would be awesome.
If not before MythCon 5,
Would love to
then
see you
during.
at Jokers. You guys are hilarious.
And we love the fact that you guys drink because we do too. So, especially Brian.
You know what?
But-
And before MythCon 5, we're going to contact you. We want to have you guys on our channel for a live stream, which will be a
That's-
little bit more
Chaotic.
a little bit more
No,
drunky.
we'll
wear your wife beaters and something comfortable you can stretch out in, and bring a bunch of shot glasses and a bucket.
Brian, I'm gonna spend the night. Let's make
my
it
wife beater's a little pink because it was washed with the red, but yeah.
let's make it on a Friday. Then we'll really get crazy.
Don't worry about your pink look. I'm wearing Uggs right now. Look at that.
Oh my god!
What the fuck?
That's
Yeah,
disgusting.
No, I did not see that. What are you wearing?
That's
My wife
terrible.
bought me Uggs, man. Look, I wear sweatpants and Uggs now. That's
Are
what
you
I'm
serious? That's
Christ, who
divorce
are you?
territory.
Oh
Come
my
on,
god.
man.
He just got married. Like, it takes at least 7 years,
Oh,
right?
That's the worst.
But you have to,
It is the worst.
you have
I
to
lost.
you have to,
I lost so much respect.
women's sizes. You have to have like a
I
size
would
14.
I would have rather you had been bald naked than wearing Uggs.
I wouldn't have, just for the record,
they're
I would have preferred
I
that.
don't,
They're
but
He's
discount.
really too close.
we're,
Our
we're split on this
cameras do
podcast now. I agree.
Look,
Let's
I'm
hope we
married.
don't
I
get all
give a shit
tribal
anymore. You think I
between
give a crap?
naked and Uggs now.
You think I care?
All
was
right,
gay,
I'm
we would
gonna
have a much
announce that
better
next
channel.
week we
We
will be
would.
having
We would.
Lalo Daggage next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Time. Lalo Daggage.
Do we have outro?
Oh man, that's look.
That was
anyway,
professional.
I know.
Do
the
we have
guys.
outro music?
Baggins?
No.
Bilbo Baggins.
And that was Fritz, by
Great
the way.
porno name.
Don't shit on his promo, dude. Actually, I met him back there when I got in the argument with the atheism is unstoppable and the flying monkeys. That's where I know.
Oh, is that when he called you a piece of white trash?
He didn't call me one time. He called me white trash one time. Anyway, I really like him.
Well, obviously. Lalo Daggich, everyone. is gonna be here. Who's gonna play us out? Ready?
Nobody.
I fucked that up.
Remember who taught you to tie a fresh tie, wear a dope suit, and look super fly.
Now that is an outro.
That was awesome. Oh, guys, that was awesome. I think they stopped recording or whatever. No, they didn't stop recording.
No, I think we cut it right at the end of that. That sounds good. Oh, come on. I mean, that's good.
Or whatever. Do you know that this microphone kept going in and out? It was ridiculous.
I did hear that.
No.
I heard that.
Oh, fine. What do you want me to say?
All right. Where's this?
You guys look like amateurs.
Production
quality, right?
Production.
You know what I really liked was the camera right next to the BMW logo, and it kept getting it. I'm like, you guys are fucking badass. Although, like, it had to have been sped up because I'm like, there's no way you're doing 60 miles an hour in a suburb.
Oh, you're talking about their video.
I know. You got to teach us how to do that shit because we're not
in an
cool like
attempt
that.
to hold
But no,
all
but what we do with,
professionalism, thank you,
with the
everybody.
BMW thing,
Have a
that was-
great
we
night.
actually
It's been
filmed
a
it in
wonderful
reverse.
conversation.
That was where it's actually shot in reverse. So it's in focus, and then we peel
that
out
was
backwards.
when we came into the braking. What you do is you pull up close to the camera, and then you back up real fast, and then you reverse it so it looks like you're coming in close to the camera
Yeah,
and
you
braking
just
right on
start- you
time,
start backwards.
and you add the braking sound.
See, did you get that, Brian? Brian, did you get to see what they said?
That's
Let's do it.
awesome.
Yeah.
No,
Now
you
we're
know,
off
the
air.
BMW
guys.
logo's in focus, and then you peel out backwards.
Can you do that on a Geo Metro?
Yeah, but the problem is that Geo Metro ain't going to win anybody over.
Thank you for listening to Mythinformed. Mythinformed is brought to you by Mythicist Milwaukee. Producer Sean Frasick, associate producer Fritz Blondon and Kristen Whitaker Hood, engineer Josh Benishek, and host Brian and Dimitri. Each week we produce a new podcast that sheds light on religion, secularism, and mythology. If you enjoyed the show, please support us on Patreon at patreon.com/mythicist. Mythicist Milwaukee also brings major secular conferences and debates to the Milwaukee area, along with community events, both local and online. To support us in bringing future events, visit mythicistmilwaukee.com and hit the donate button located at the bottom of each page to place a financial donation amount of your choice. And now, our closing theme, written and performed by Shelley Siegel.
There was a time when everyone believed Helios in the sun, Poseidon in the sea, Athena's wisdom and beauty, and Hades underneath, Isis of fertility, and ether of the Greeks. They all lie at rest, and who will be the next to die? You know they are all myths, and who will be the next to die? There was a time when everyone believed Helios in the sun, Poseidon in the sea, Athena's wisdom and beauty, and Hades underneath, Isis of fertility, and ether of the Greeks. They all lie at rest, and who will be the next to die? You know they are all myths, and who will be the next?